Okay. Up, step. Ready? Let's keep going. One, two, three steps. Keep going. And down.
Hi, my name is Bali, and I am a second-year college counseling and student development major at St. Cloud State University. When I first heard about this trip, I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity, and it's a new program, and so I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to kind of see it go through the movements of developing how do we recruit the students to go on this trip, and how our Confucius Institute is going to create experience for SCSU students.
My name is Kathy Johnson. I'm the director of the Confucius Institute at St. Cloud State University in Minnesota. This was our first student delegation with students from our university, and we're very excited to work with our partners in Jilin Province Education Department and Jilin Hanban. The students all were provided a scholarship through Hanban, which provided an opportunity for them that they would not have otherwise had the chance to do. And I know from many of the students it was a life-changing experience, as some of the testimonies that you've heard within their interviews.
I'm very pleased to be here to share my expertise with you tonight. The paper cutting has had 600 years of history.
Oh, you should do the hard parts for me, and I'll do the easy.
That's called cheating.
Hey everyone, my name is Capri Logreen. I'm a grad student at St. Cloud State University in the Rehabilitation Counseling Education Program. Today was epic. It was the most amazing day. And I just am excited, if you're watching this right now, that you have an opportunity to go to China, and that you should never say no to an opportunity that can help you grow. This is one of the most amazing trips I've ever been on, and it wouldn't have been possible without the scholarship.
students within our delegation came from a wide variety of disciplines and majors, and were provided an opportunity to focus on an area of research that aligned with their major, which provided a great opportunity for them to study more in depth the topic of their interest. Our delegation also consisted of an area of my personal passion, which is advocating for people with disabilities. And so we had a young woman, Anastasia Somoza, join us and learn in the learning of Chinese and the whole experience of traveling abroad. She provided an opportunity not only for our students to learn how to be inclusive and engaging of an individual with a disability during our delegation, but also opened the eyes of all of our participants and our partners in China by having an individual with a disability as a member of our delegation. I know that greater awareness occurred through the experience, and I hope that other Confucius Institutes can consider really extending outreach to individuals with disabilities on their college campuses.
My name is Tsunami Onbuya, and I am a senior here at St. Cloud State University. The most impactful activity that we did in China was at the Shepherd's Field Orphanage, where I spent the night at the orphanage, and then the next day we all took the kids to the zoo. And while at the orphanage, me and another schoolmate of mine, we stayed the night, and we helped the kids get ready for the orphanage the next morning. We learned about the orphanage and the things they were doing and why the kids were there, and we learned a little bit about each and every child that was there. So the next morning we got them all ready and prepared to go to the Beijing Zoo, and we met up with the rest of the group. And that was really, that was a new experience for me, because the kids there all were kids with disabilities, and in China it's something of a taboo to have a child with a disability. So that was a very different experience than it would be in America, especially the fact that I am a person of color with a child with disability at the Beijing Zoo. You can only imagine the type of looks that we got, and the the vibe that was kind of being thrown at us from people there. I feel like for that experience, the biggest thing that I took from it is learning about the environment that I was in, and learning about how these children are placed in the Chinese environment, in the Chinese economy, and how they're kind of just thrown out and just forgotten, and then when brought back into regular society, people are just kind of shocked because that's not a usual thing to see there. So having that experience with them definitely opened my eyes to a new dynamic in China.
Is Alicia Chapman. I am a graduate student at St. Cloud State University. I really wanted to come to China because I have a 5-year-old son who is in kindergarten at Madison Elementary School within the Chinese immersion program. And I really wanted to come to China to learn more about the culture that he is learning and the language he is learning at school each and every day, and just to learn more about the background from where his teachers are coming from.
And I'm currently a graduate student in the College Counseling Student Development Program. During my time at Confucius Institute, I learned a lot of things about China, so getting to actually go and see if it was true or not was really amazing.
name is Jiping Zuo. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Sociology. A main characteristic of this program was that our students learn about China through direct contacts with Chinese students, faculty, family, and the larger society in various forms, such as seminars, classes, homestay, and service learning. Those kinds of activity have effectively enhanced our students' understanding and appreciation of Chinese culture, history, and the people. Given their increased knowledge, skills, and the emerging friendships with Chinese people, I have gained confidence that our students are well on their way to work with people from other cultures in their efforts to turn currently divided world into a much better place for everyone.
In Changchun, we stayed at the Jilin Huaqiao University of Foreign Languages, and it's a phenomenal, really beautiful campus. It's a private institution, and we were each paired up with a Chinese student. They were all first-year students, and we spoke very good English. enough to get to visit a third city, Siping, also in Jilin province, and that was where we visited Jilin Normal University and did our homestay experience with a family of one of our Chinese volunteer buddies. Everybody had a really good experience. We were able to get so close to our buddies within only, less than 48 hours, and they were amazing. They fed us so much. Normal University did a really good job of welcoming us. They showed us their primary school, their high school, their middle school, and seeing the schools at all those different levels was a good experience for us, not really knowing how the education system works here beforehand.
my favorite things from China that I really noticed at each of the locations we've been at, Beijing, Chingcheng, and Xiping, has been the sense of community. At each of the places, there has been a square or an area outdoors where people get together, they dance, they interact, they play volleyball, they just do lots of outdoor activities together. And we got an opportunity, especially at the foreign language school, to interact with our Chinese buddies. So one of the things I'm really excited to do with my son when I get back is to incorporate some of the foods that we've learned about here. We made dumplings one night. I'd really love to have a night where we do dumplings at home and I teach them how to make dumplings. And another big thing that I'm really excited to bring home is through all the connections we made here with students who know both English and Chinese I would love to continue to connect with them and video chat with them and text message back and forth with them. And one of the students who is studying to teach Chinese to English students said she is willing to continue teaching any of us Chinese through video chats and through WeChat messages. And that's one thing that I would love to connect her also with my son and continue that relationship.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beijing Huaqiao University of Foreign Languages.
My name is Alicia Catherine. I am a graduate student at St. Cloud State University. One of my main reasons for wanting to visit China is because I have a 5-year-old son who is in the Chinese immersion school back in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Because of the relationship my son's school has with St. Cloud State University's Confucius Institute, my son has a wonderful opportunity on a daily basis to learn to speak, read, and write in Chinese.
Key program is Chinese Bridge program. So this time, you can come here to participate the activities. So we say it's a bridge between the Chinese and the Americans, right?
The other key aspect that we worked to embed within our delegation for our students was emphasis on attaining global competencies. A lot of times students in their first experience of studying abroad or learning abroad will come away with the attitude and the thought process that, wow, we're all alike in the world, everybody's just the same. But the reality is we're not. We have very different ways of thinking, different ways of looking at the world, different viewpoints and perspectives, and the students were provided opportunities to sit down and dialogue with students from universities in China that provided the opportunity for critical dialogue to not only realize our similarities but also learn about the differences and work to understand the differences not through the lens of right or wrong, but more of different cultures and contexts and how they influence worldviews and ways of thinking. So I was very happy with what we were able to embed within our delegation to promote global competencies.
One of them is the kindness here. Everyone is so kind, and it's very different from America. If you say you want something, you say, no, it's okay. In China, don't ever say that you want something because they will get it for you. A lot of people said during our host stay that their families brought them to a store, and everything they said, oh, that looks good, they immediately bought it for them. And even my host family, I said I can't really use chopsticks. The mother went out and bought me a fork so that I could use it in the restaurant. Another thing that stood out to me is the community here. The people are so active. Every square they have dancing, singing, children playing games. It's one thing that I wish that we could take back to Minnesota and really implement there.
Through interaction between local students and international students, it increases the participants' cross-cultural awareness and make us learn how to accept or appreciate foreign culture, which is no worse, no better, just different. Yeah, particularly for American group, students group, I think this trip definitely will be an unforgettable and meaningful life experience.
On this trip in China, I would have to look back and say that the most amazing thing that comes to mind is watching them embrace their culture and watching them do what they love. With disability awareness, that's what I'm getting my master's in, is helping people with disability gain jobs. And China was just a whirlwind of how sad, I was shocked, I was moved by how kids with disabilities are left here on their own. They're either abandoned, given away, or their family hides them in a house and doesn't let other people know about them.
Be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can.
Hi, I'm Anastasia Samoza. I am born and raised in New York City, and this is actually my second time traveling to China. So second time in Beijing, and second time at Shepherd's Field Children's Village, and second time on the Great Wall. But the fabulous thing about this experience is that I was able to do it with SCSU students, and I think having me on the trip has taught all of us what's possible, and especially today on the Great Wall. I got further this time than I did the last time, and it's because we had such a great group of people willing to help, and I think that's what the entire trip has shown. Everybody who's been with us has seen that what most people would say is impossible is actually possible if you're willing to try.
I think that the Confucius Institute
you should definitely continue this partnership in the future and definitely bring more students to China through this program. There's a lot to learn about China. We learned about how much arts and beauty that China values here, and the harmony with society and with nature and with one another. It really helps you put into perspective the things that you thought you knew about China, but it's all really different once you step into the country. And so to be here in China, it's been a great learning experience, and any student who has an opportunity to come on this program would be very lucky, and they should take it.
You can be the champion, hanging on your chest.